My name is Yvonne Hackett, and this capstone video presentation is for the completion of the Educational Specialist degree in Instructional Technology from Kennesaw State University. The title of this research is Teacher Perceptions of Personal Technology Use and Integration of Technology in the Classroom. This research has focused on the fact that a high percentage of teachers perceive their technological abilities to be adequate to above average. However, research concludes that technology integration in the classroom is limited despite the fact that more technology equipment is available for teachers and students. As a computer technology teacher in middle grades, I have become aware of how little my students use technology for academic purposes. Desiring to find the cause of this has prompted my research. The Enhancing Education Through Technology Act of 2001, which is part of No Child Left Behind, states that the primary goal of this part is to improve student academic achievement through the use of technology in elementary schools and secondary schools. The U.S. Department of Education states specific goals that every student is to be technologically literate by the time the student finishes the 8th grade, and that we are to encourage the effective integration of technology resources and systems with teacher training and curriculum development. In our county, capital expenditures for the instructional purposes through acquiring instructional and technological equipment include many things. The budgeted forecast amount of $32 million is anticipated for the years 2013 through 2017. While there has been an exorbitant amount of money spent on technology equipment in the last several years, the overall population of students at the middle school level in my district is not using technology for academic purposes. Reviewing the literature brought forth several factors that might possibly contribute to the problems of integrating technology into everyday classroom assignments. Several barriers were found to be contributors to these problems. One important factor concerns the usefulness and ease of use of the technology. Teachers will not include technology if it is complicated. Literature also cites information concerning teachers' attitudes and beliefs as having an influence over how they use technology. Many older teachers that did not grow up with cell phones find it difficult to allow them in the classroom. Barriers, of course, are always related to lack of equipment, digital competence, or tech support. School administration requirements play a key role as well, and often result in insufficient teacher training or lack of administrative support or modeling. Integration of technology combines many components, but one of the most important factors is the teacher's competence and ability to include instructional technology activities that meet student needs. The purpose of this study was to determine how teachers perceive their own technological abilities and if there was a correlation of that perception to how or if they integrate technology in their classroom. The significance of this study deals with three factors that concern me as a researcher. Number one is that according to the Enhancing Technology in Education Act, students should be technologically literate by the end of the 8th grade. This does not appear to be happening considering the significant number of students that have no technology instruction. A second significant factor of this study is that students in our district receive only 45 to 90 minutes of tech instruction per week in grades K through 5. Finally, only 60 to 65% of middle school students in our district receive technology instruction during 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. This is due to lack of personnel, schedule conflicts, or allowing students to choose athletics or music instead of technology. Quantitative and qualitative data were gathered for this research. A 26-item questionnaire was distributed to approximately 160 certified middle school teachers in my district during a 2-week time period in February of 2015. During that same month, interviews of 3 teachers and observations of 9 teachers were conducted. The selection of these teachers was purposefully selected to include multiple subjects and multiple grade levels. In order to be aware of what technology should be available for teachers, documents for this current school's year inventory and computer lab sign-up calendars were collected. How do teachers perceive their competencies of technology, and how do teachers perceive their students' classroom usage of technology are questions that are asked of the quantitative data. Interviews and observations answer qualitative data questions about what do teachers perceive technology integration to be, and how are teachers and students using technology during classroom time and for classroom assignments. This research has used a mixed methods convergent design approach where data has been gathered through quantitative questionnaires and qualitative interview and observational means. Participants involved in the interviews and observations were given an informed consent agreement to sign and return to me, and the informed consent agreement was emailed along with the survey for other participants. The mixed methods convergent design approach allowed quantitative and qualitative data to be gathered during the same time period, and one data set was compared to the other to determine correlation. This approach has also helped add deeper understanding of teacher perceptions about their technological abilities and their self-reported use of technology with students in their classroom. There was a 24% response rate to the anonymous questionnaire that was distributed to 160 targeted certified middle school teachers. The survey questions were clustered to support or refute each of the research questions, and responses were set using a Likert scale. It was determined that if a survey question had 51% of the participants answering on the high end of agree and strongly agree, then those responses support the research question. Interviews and observational field notes were analyzed using a hand analysis coding process to determine themes. Inferential statistics was used to relate 2 variable items on the Likert scale questionnaire. Finally, conclusions were drawn, and through the observational and interview data explaining survey questions, I came to the understanding that teachers using digitized material equal to integrating technology. Data gathered from the questionnaire survey revealed that most middle school teachers in this rural to suburban area agree and strongly agree that their levels of competence related to using technology is high. Of the 15 items related to this, only 2 areas fell below the 50% mark where teachers did not feel confident in their technological abilities. Those 2 areas were collaborating using productivity tools and their ability to discuss diversity issues related to disabilities or accessibility. Teachers reported that they were extremely confident about their abilities to use technology to evaluate and collect information, use technology tools and information to increase productivity, to promote creativity, and to facilitate academic learning. Teachers self-reporting to the questions about how they perceive their students' technology use in their class were below 50% in all areas, except for one. The one area of my students are more engaged in learning due to technology utilized in my classroom was above the 50% mark. This number appears to contradict answers to other questions where teachers scored, "My students use technology to improve their basic skills with computer programs while engaged in activities for my classroom," at only 34% of the time. And my students do schoolwork when not in school as a result of technology activities utilized in my classroom at only 18% of the time. The teachers reported 50% of their students' use of computers is only in the computer lab. This is a worrisome statistic, as computer lab sign-up sheets indicate that no teacher scheduled the computer lab for more than 2 days during the month. During the process of interviews, it was revealed that teachers consider themselves to be integrating technology when they use document cameras and PowerPoint presentations. Both of these types of technology integration are nothing more than digitizing text material for students to view on the wall. Teachers that were interviewed perceived technology integration to be related to research, working technology equipment, student engagement, everywhere learning, and relevant learning. Teachers stated that their main reason for not using technology was because of lack of time or lack of equipment. During observation, it was revealed that students interacted with technology equipment only once during the 22 classroom observations. Most classroom observations that involved using technology was where one desktop or laptop was in use by the teacher, or students were copying notes from information that was being projected on the wall. 95% of the classroom observations revealed no hands-on interaction by the students with any technology in the classroom, and 36% of the classrooms observed had no evidence of technology being used at all during that lesson. Student workstations in the classrooms were not being used during the 22 observations. This research concluded that teachers stating that the lack of equipment as a problem seems to be a false perception for teachers when compared to school inventory records. If inventory records are accurate and if the computers are in good working order, the number of computers to student ratio was 1 computer for every 2 students in this research. Documentation revealed that many computers are available that are not being used. As teachers self-report their students use the computer lab, it is possible that they are used for drill and testing purposes, as the computer labs were not in use for other purposes during observations. Recommendations as a result of this research are: 1. Educate teachers concerning what technology integration means. 2. We need to reevaluate how computer labs are scheduled. 3. We should explore options for BYOD, the Bring Your Own Device implementation. And 4. We need to provide resources for teachers that are ready-made lesson plans for integrating technology. As a reflection on this capstone project, I have demonstrated mastery of conducting research through gathering and analyzing data through tested and approved methodologies. Going into this, I had no idea as to the difference between types of data or processes. I can finally say learning how to carry out each step, code and analyze data, and make recommendations for the future has been challenging and rewarding. I am now able to read and understand research findings, and I know this will be beneficial as I seek to train students and teachers in the future.